are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym and the Crypto, episode 1249. Today is Thursday, November 14, 2024, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10-ish. And today is a very special day. We have the Horizen CEO and founder on with us, and we will be discussing just a couple of stories, important ones, of course. Trump nominates pro-Bitcoin Matt Gaetz as U.S. Attorney General. And oh my goodness, say it isn't so. America, you're letting me down. FBI raids home of Polymarket CEO Shane Copeland, but I'm sure that had nothing to do with the election, right? This was just on par for course. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But first and foremost, let me go ahead and take a quick look at these prices. I know you all want to talk prices because you're so excited about what's going on in the market. We are again at it. I mean, we're hitting all-time highs every day. We might as well just stay up there now. Bitcoin is coming in high. Oh, it changed within a couple of minutes. It was at 90,000 some change a few minutes ago. It is at $88,980 now, down 2.05%. Ethereum's at $3,116, down 5.2%. Number 5, BNB, $624, down 0.9%, not 0.95%, excuse me. Number 7, XRP at 71 cents, up 1.35%. Number 9, Cardano somehow at 54 cents, down 7.67%. And Tron said, hold on, you're not leaving me behind. They're back in the number 10 at 17 cents, down 0.34%. Fear and Greed Index is at an 86, so still pretty high. Bitcoin dominance has bolstered itself to a 60.04%. It's probably the highest I've seen in a while, while Ethereum dominance has slipped to 12.74%. Those are your prices on the day. And of course, some really quick shout outs where we get this show rolling. No Cap, Jump Out Girls, what up, though? Wisdom Bars, Crypto Night Train, Junior Maley, FBI trying to 6102 the tech, JB, El Dadamel, Janine Hayes. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Glad to see all you all back. Without further ado, let's get this show rolling. I want to introduce my guest on the day. We have the CEO and founder of Horizen Labs, ZON, here with us, Rob Vigiloni. I hope I pronounced that last name, Rob, correctly. I've been working on it all night. How you doing today?
It's good enough, King. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Hey, thank you for joining us. Before we get started, I ask everyone this. I have to ask you this. Before you tell us your journey of getting to Horizen Labs and what that is all about, how did you yourself enter this glorious world of Bitcoin and crypto?
You know, I guess like two parts to the story. So one, I was living in Afghanistan at the time. So like you, a military vet, and I got the Bitcoin bug relatively early. And I actually, so on CoinDesk, I don't know how true it is, but on CoinDesk, I actually published an article years ago, I think in 2013, that I did the first Bitcoin transaction in Afghanistan. Recorded transaction. We have no idea how many there were.
Low key flex. I
bought a cigar for 0.1 Bitcoin. I regret it. I've also bought other things with Bitcoin back in the day that I regret even more. But that was it. I guess like specifically, I got my first Bitcoin. Oh, actually, no, maybe not my first, but one of the first like big vivid stories where I forced my wife to buy her first Bitcoin was actually we hopped on our bikes and we were living in Manhattan Beach, California at the time, biked up to Santa Monica, had an envelope full of cash, and I found my Bitcoin dealer there. And, I swapped some cash for some Bitcoin back in the day. So that was kind of nice. The early, I would say more fun, or maybe, I don't know, different days of Bitcoin.
Well, thank you for your service too. I mean, I didn't realize that. I did see you went to school in South Carolina. Are you from South Carolina?
No, I just went to school there.
Okay, there we go. I see some South Carolina on there. I got the Carolinas represented. All right, so tell us, for those who don't know, actually, let me just go ahead and introduce it as well. Horizen Labs, they're dealing with ZK Proof, ZK Knowledge Innovation. What exactly is Horizen Labs? And I'm looking at the website. I don't want to kind of give everybody the scientific breakdown in layman terms. What is it that you all do? And what is it you do for the community?
Yeah, I mean, I would say first and foremost, we're trying to make crypto real out there. But at the core of who we are, our DNA, we're a cryptographic engineering shop. That said, so like ZK is this classic cryptography we think is absolutely critical to scaling crypto out into the real world. Also to give us privacy on chain, which is also super important. Horizen Labs is a company of builders behind the third ZK project ever to be out there in Web3. Back in the day, it was called Zen Cash. Today it's called Horizen. We're actually relaunching it. We've invested heavily in the tech and actually relaunching early next year. So pay attention to Horizen Zen. But the other thing that we're doing, actually, we're expanding out the ZK space with a modular blockchain layer called ZK Verify. also launching that as one of the core builders for it early next year. And we've also done some really cool things, everything from building out in the Ape ecosystem. If you guys are familiar with like ApeCoin, ApeChain, the 40
ApeCoin, okay,
yeah. We actually, partnered with the Arbitrum guys at Offchain Labs and launched ApeChain recently with those guys. So a lot of fun things. We're kind of at the heart of Web3, from the deep tech stuff to the fun crypto or kind of like B2C projects like the Ape ecosystem.
And how did you start this? Like, what made you start Horizen? I mean, there are so many others like things, especially kind of your timeline. ICO craze was big then. What made you kind of start more of a blockchain project than getting into a different project, I guess?
I was one of those early cypherpunks that was pretty ideologically motivated for seeing crypto get out there and change the world in different ways, make it, a more fair, interesting world, I would say. So it kind of pulled me in. I was actually going to be a professor, was my goal. After doing that whole like Bitcoin and military thing, I was just going to kind of rotate into academia and kind of live a nice, quiet life that way. Didn't work out that way because I was really into the ZK stuff when Zcash rolled it out back in 2016, and figured, wow, this technology is amazing. To finally put this ZK proof thing on chain was incredible. So we actually rolled out Zencash at the time to be a variant of Zcash that was going to spin out in a different direction for different type of application privacy. And now you're going to see soon, as we roll out Horizen 2.0, as we're calling it, you're going to see a whole application platform specifically designed for these types of ZK proof technologies.
So are you going to stay, I guess, into the anonymous coins for the most part?
So no, actually, because the U.S. government was so bad to the industry over the last 4 years, I would say maybe beyond that, there was so much ambiguity around privacy coins that actually the Horizen community pivoted strongly. So we have a DAO in the Horizen community, and unambiguously said we want to pivot away from being a privacy coin, so we're not targeted by the government, but we're building out big on the privacy technologies for other things like data privacy and ultimately like application privacy, even the privacy related to like AI applications. There's just a ton there beyond privacy coins. I will say, I think that, and you're probably going to talk about it in the news today, but I think the war on crypto is over, guys. And I think with the war on crypto being over, there'll be a lot of other interesting opportunities for privacy technology, including going back to privacy coins. But at Zen, we're still kind of like towing the line of we're going to invest heavily in other type of privacy tech, but not like being a privacy coin right now.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I do want to talk about that. So it's funny you say. I've actually said for years, technically the war on Bitcoin and crypto has been over. These are just the bloody battles, because if you read the Bitcoin white papers, it's already over. Like there's no stopping this. And the fact that so many people can just create other cryptos from the open source technology. The war is over, but we are having some bloody battles. But I think those are almost over as well. This story says Trump nominates pro-Bitcoin Matt Gaetz as U.S. Attorney General. His nomination signals a potential shift in the DOJ stance on crypto innovation and regulatory policies. This looks like, this was happening on November 13th, prompting Gaetz to announce his resignation from Congress effective immediately. So this is happening. This is moving forward. He previously introduced a legislative bill on June 25th requiring the IRS to accept Bitcoin payments from Americans filing their federal taxes. The Florida lawmaker said the legislation resulted from his visiting the inauguration of El Salvador President Nayib Bukele, claiming that he wanted to modernize the tax system in the U.S. Trump's pick of him could impact the crypto industry, as he is expected to push for a regulatory approach that supports digital asset innovation while balancing oversight. So I'm glad you brought it up. It sounds like you have faced challenges in the past when it came to regulation. So how are you all, especially when you start to see news stories like this, where it's like Trump's picking these pro-Bitcoin folks, how are you all looking to the future of the regulatory environment? And I guess, how are you moving? Do you have like a compliance officer? Do you reach out to the government? How does that work for a company of your size and magnitude?
Yeah, so I would say game over, first of all. So you're right. I mean, if you just looked at the Bitcoin white paper early on, you realize this is sort of inevitable. Although early on, we didn't really know inevitable would be it. We thought it would just be a group of cypherpunks using it. But I think with this recent election, it's clear, like hands down. So the crypto community backed heavily. Finally, the first time that we really mobilized and were systematic about supporting different politicians across the spectrum. They were actually just not even supportive of the industry, just who were committing not to try to kill it. right? And that's all we've ever asked for. It's like, we don't need any special favors. We don't want special favors. Just don't try to kill the industry. This is legitimate. It's real. It's going to make the world a better place. But when you're operating a company like I do in the US, and I'm hugely patriotic, so I want to continue operating in the US, you have to play by the rules. Like, you have to, and that's been really challenging because the rules haven't been there. So when we're talking about actually getting legislation in place instead of like regulation by enforcement, like what the SEC has been doing, I'm hugely bullish. In fact, I've never been more bullish on America than I am these days. Relatively speaking, all around, I think we're in a really great position, especially within crypto. Like, internally, what we do is we have a head of legal internally. We pay a lot of legal bills. We work with one of the best law firms in the industry. We've spent a lot of money on lawyers, and that sucks. It's a big drag on our growth. It's a big drag on the growth of the industry. And we're also part of a phenomenal industry association called the Blockchain Association, BA, out of DC, and they're phenomenal. They've been advocating for the industry for a while now, and I think they do a great job.
Nice. And I'm glad you actually covered the, you make it sound, this is what I love about the project founders. You all are very well spoken, because I'm going to be like, this is some bullshit. And you're like, it's some heavy lifting to hire the legal office and everything. And that's my whole thing. Is like, they're adding these barriers to entry when they're actually not protecting us yet, right? They want tax money and all this other stuff.
No, they hurt us. They actually hurt us. Right. Like, they've hurt so many people in the industry, not just founders and projects and companies, employees, but also people that just hold crypto. Like, and I think that this election shows, like, who's going to vote for someone who says, like, their goal is to destroy your net worth and destroy your assets? It's just insane.
It definitely is. So tell us, when it comes to like the average person listening for Horizen Labs, are you really dealing with the retail investor in the community? Or are you more geared toward kind of bigger projects and broad type of landscapes?
Yeah, I mean, we've done both. So like on the deep tech side, like we hire cryptographers, crypto engineers, and we innovate. We write research papers. We take like math to software and production. So in that world, it's specialized. Like, we go to events like ZK Summit, and like, these are events where like the ZK and cryptography community just really knows each other, and Horizen Labs plays a big role there. But on the consumer side, so like, we've been operating a privacy-oriented crypto community since 2017, when Zencash launched, or like being a big part of that. And
I remember Zencash, by the way, too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, exactly.
When I was researching the company, I was like, hold on, this is Zen right here? Yeah, I remember Zencash.
Yeah, admittedly, it's kind of like one of these things. Like, the company itself has done like so many other things within crypto, but like, this has been the baby that we've been like a really big part of that community from its beginning. And like, we've been investing heavily kind of in the background on it, and like, we're rolling a really cool revitalization of that project. So that's something that like near to dear to my heart, and like, I'm super pumped for that relaunch.
And for those watching and or listening, I brought up the screen for some of the current job openings. I mean, hey, if you're an engineer, cryptographic engineer, senior Rust engineer, interior DevOps, they are hiring. So put those coding skills to use. So I guess what's
and
the
more.
first...
One more, by the way. Sorry, like a surprise open role we're opening up now is we're also looking for senior marketing specialists as well.
So hey, one of you all can get that. Come on now, we got some good folks. Senior marketing specialist.
Yeah, you got a marketing background. I could be botching the position title, but like, if you got a marketing background, you're really good. You get this industry. Reach out.
And see, this is what I love about the industry too. Is like, this is it right here. Like this, you talk about a big company that's just like, hey, if you have the qualifications, you have the resume, in this form of resume, it's usually your wallet. Let me see your wallet. I can let you know if the job is for you or not. But if you have it, it's in there. So for those listening, what's one of the first things you want people to do when they look up your company? Should they sign up somewhere? Should they download something? What should they be doing?
Yeah, I mean, like, what I would say is, if you're on the retail side of this, join our community. So the community is really cool. We're revitalizing everything, like I keep saying, but this means like grant programs. It means like we need everything from scratch in a way. Yeah, we have an OG community, and that's kind of a cool opportunity here to revitalize an OG community. But OG community needs new community members as well, like a lot of them. So please come by, join the Discord, join the Telegram, whatever it is. I'm there every day. We've got a phenomenal team that's there every day as well.
And just to be clear, are you all launching another coin or no?
So for Zen, no, we're actually revitalizing the Horizen project, and actually Zen, like we're refreshing the tokenomics to modernize it, but the supply cap's the same. So it's still 21 million. It's still the same OG token, but it's going to have a brand new mission, or kind of like a brand new purpose there in product market fit. And we are launching another one called ZK Verify. Now, ZK Verify is like our really cool, like massively scaling cryptography project. It's literally a modular blockchain to verify ZK proofs. That though is like part of the ZK value chain, like massively scaling that, because we think the entire industry is going ZK at some point. Vitalik talks about it, like the ETH 3.0 roadmap talks about it. We're prepping the infra on our side to be able to handle that. And like my hypothesis is, I think that what's going to really translate into like the Web 2 or real world is going to be cryptography, like raw cryptography. Like you're not going to convince my mom or some big like Web 2 companies to care about the full stack of Web 3, but they will care about the cryptography piece of it. So we're actually scaling that heavily there with ZK Verify.
I love it. So when it comes, and someone's asking, Jake, shout out to Jake. He was saying, if someone owns your coin, what do you see being one of the catalysts to push your coin's vision forward in a major way?
Yeah, so right now, the catalyst is going to be launch. So launch is going to be big because the new tech doesn't exist yet. It exists. We built it, but it's on DevNet. We're going to launch in testnet in the next month. And then that's going to go into production probably late Q1 of next year. So there's a whole bunch of catalysts along the way. We'll have some
so the ecosystems begin getting built out all the way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the key though, guys, and this is where we could definitely use help, is we're focusing heavily on like a few anchor use cases of like viral things. Like what we learned, helping launch Ape Chain is you have some really simple, like really cool viral use cases like Top Trader that just spiked attention, spiked usage and everything like that. Super fun, like trading competitive games. We're going to probably get some of the stuff like that, at least like apply those lessons learned and some of the other big projects we worked on back into Horizen. So there's going to be a lot of things there that I think are going to catalyze the ecosystem.
And in your words, for layman terms as well, ZK proofs, ZK knowledge, what is this to you?
Yeah, so it's a form of cryptography that lets you prove something without sharing the details. So super important stuff, guys. When you talk about blockchains or public databases, we're talking literally about like a public data structure where you post everything online for everyone in the world to see. You need cryptography. You need to be able to, like hide the stuff behind, like under the hood there, so the entire world doesn't see everything. The simple use case is like if we ever decentralize Uber, and I hope we do, you don't want the entire world seeing exactly where you're traveling, when you're traveling, right? Like you want to keep the metadata private, but you may want to make use of the proofs on chain, like with smart contracts and things like that.
So, folks, it essentially allows you to share information or open share messages without having to prove it's true on your end. The cryptography does it all on the back end without us humans having to intervene. So, again, it's the third parties already reduced, but this further reduces it and keeps your privacy even more secure. So, it's pretty cool technology. Like I say, Vitalik Buterin has been touting it for a while, as well as a lot of other people in this space. But you said something that's very important as far as like with the Ubers and stuff and hiding metadata. As much as I like all this privacy talk, you know what it calls for? It calls for that knock at the door. And someone else just got to knock. When I saw this story, I really did not want to believe it. And I told him I have to start clipping my stuff because I just did a story on this the other day. I can't remember what country. I think it was France or one of them. One of the countries essentially came at the Polymarket. And I was like, oh, they're doing this because of what happened to the American election. They're making sure this doesn't spread. And would you have it, about 72 hours later, the decentralized betting platform CEO was targeted in a morning FBI raid that seized his phone and electronics. That's right. The U.S. FBI raided the home of Polymarket CEO Shane Copeland on November 13th, seizing his phone and electronics. He was woken up at 6 a.m. Eastern time in his New York City home by law enforcement officials who demanded he hand over his phone and electronics. The New York Post reported, citing a source close to the matter. The Polymarket spokesperson confirmed the incident with Cointelegraph, calling the raid, quote, obvious political retribution by the outgoing Biden administration for, quote, providing a market that correctly called the 2024 presidential election. We charge no fees, take no trading positions, and allow observers from around the world to analyze all market data as public good, the spokesperson said. We look forward to standing up for ourselves and our community and continue to help everyday people understand important world events. Of course, the FBI did not arrest Copeland, New York Post said. I'm not sure what that was about. Yeah, they said it was a grand political theater to the New York Post. I mean, look, here's the deal. We kind of figured some pressure will be coming. We saw it from a foreign government. Now we're seeing it from our own U.S. government. This truly saddens me because to me it's like kind of messing up of the freedom process, not just the political process, but the freedom process. We've also seen this with, I can't even think of it right now, the Bitcoin mixer, the anonymous Bitcoin mixer when he got arrested. What are your thoughts on this as a project founder? And you're working on something as like when you're talking about security and privacy, do you get nervous or scared the United States might knock down your door and say, hey, whatever you're building, like we need backdoor, access to it. We need to make sure we have we're now totally private. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, come on, America. This is like I've got a lot of thoughts, but this is why we have such high legal bills, because we try to make sure that this never happens to us. Like we try to make sure we're doing everything that, like, even without clear rules, we're not likely to be breaking them. But like this reminds me of something like when you watch a movie like All Quiet on the Western Front or something like that. War's over, armistice is signed, and boom, someone gets sniped at the end. Like it just feels so wrong. It's like the war on crypto's over, guys. This doesn't make sense anymore. So like maybe if you want to give the FBI the benefit of the doubt, at least they didn't arrest the guy and they just kind of confiscated some electronics, and maybe they thought if they went through his lawyer, maybe the electronics would be lost or deleted or something. I don't know, but I mean, like, hopefully this stuff is kind of a legacy and just goes away, and we're just we're a normal industry.
Yeah, I hope this is almost out. Some people said the New York Post wasn't very, a good source, folks. This is everywhere. It's on Reuters too. They're covering. Everyone's covering it, man. This is one of the ones you can't hide. Whoever's pushing out. Again, this is crazy to me, and it's just such a shame. Long short, it kind of made my trajectory different because early on when I was seeing the Charlie Shrims of the world and things, I'm like, oh, they're just going to try to arrest everyone. And then, of course, you find out they'll arrest you, but you just have to pay the money. You get a little payola, you might get out. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
They're going after Roger Ver right now. I saw that, like the IRS announced.
Yeah,
this news article this morning.
They've been going after him for a little minute, but
I know.
You better leave and not come back. 5252 Bitcoin. Thank you for the tip. Sunglasses perpetually fall into the video game controller's proud face. There we go. I love it. So Horizen Labs, Web3 architects. How, like, is that going to be the future of Horizen as we look at it? It's going to be more like switching to just Web3 tech, Web3 building, Web3 products?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to make this industry real. So I think there's a couple of ways to do that, and I think if the industry is going to kind of ZKify, as we say, and sorry for the weird terms, I'll throw it at you guys. But if it's going to ZKify, it's probably going to be at the dApp level. You're going to see a lot of applications that are going to be out there. There's been a ton of infrastructure investment already. Now we all need applications and users. Like that's at the end of the day, if it's not being used, it's not valuable. Then on the other thing is we want to see cryptography everywhere in the world, especially in this like post-AI stuff where the marginal cost of content creation is zero. Basically, you can create like an entire novel in 30 seconds or less. Having cryptography that verifies that it's real, its source, origin, and all that stuff, I think is going to be a really big deal. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to be there at the forefront to, again, bring this industry out there and like out of the shadows and make it part of everyday people's lives. And it's a grind. Like we just ground through a bear market and a very hostile administration. I'm really pumped for what's coming next.
I'm with you. I'm super pumped. It has been a grind. When you consider like the last 4 years, they did not want it to grow. So now we actually get to see it grow. I love it. Like the Ape Chain stuff you have. I'm looking at some of your partners, right? Or some of the people you collaborated with. I can never say this right. Animoca. I can say it for me.
Yeah.
Animoca. Darewise, ApeCoin, DAO, Yuga Labs. How was that partnership with Yuga Labs?
Yeah, I mean they're huge on ApeChain. So I mean ApeChain, the launch, if you guys were paying attention over the last month, has been phenomenally successful. So it's getting so much traction right now. Yuga obviously is a really big anchor user of ApeChain.
So what's been the thing that you found works the best when you all are doing some of this programming on the back end for ZK proofs and ZK knowledge? With an ape chain type of deal, like what are you finding that works best? Because while a lot of people do like ZK proofs and roll-ups, some people have their pushbacks to it. What are your thoughts like when it comes to strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you a lesson that we learned over the years was don't build everything yourself. Don't pretend you're in a silo like a normal Web2 company. Actually, this industry is all about partnering. This industry is all about working with each other. Like we have this concept of composability where you don't think about building everything yourself. You actually build upon what other people are building and share it back to the community. So I think that we're just getting a lot more traction now that we've kind of learned this the hard way ourselves. So we're using regular frameworks that other people are using. We're collaborating massively with hundreds of other organizations at this point. That's the secret to success. And actually thinking about, like instead of like product market fit, but like community market fit on these things is really big, and it's like powerful new concepts.
And I love you have the roadmap updated. So as you said, the testnet's coming up here in a month or two. And then you have Q1 Horizen mainnet launch, Perspective ZK verified tokens, and then the 1.0 to 2.0 Zen claim. Is that going to be like an airdrop type of deal?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
cool. Okay. Is it too
Yeah.
late for people to be
No, not
involved?
at all. Not at all. We
See,
haven't even released our
this is
brand.
my
So
this is what they want to
actually,
hear.
you're
That's what
literally
they,
like I think the first person that actually brought it up publicly. Like we haven't been advertising that at all because we're going to be rolling out kind of like tokenomics from the ZK Verify side. They're going to translate to the Zen side. So there's going to be some airdrop opportunities for sure.
all right, there we go. See, that's we like finding that stuff. There you go, folks. You heard it. Make sure you do your homework on it. But yeah, when I was scrolling down, I saw it. I was like, hold on. This looks like an airdrop of ours. So,
Yeah, it's good
so
finds.
the rest of the year, I guess, what this goes out to quarter 1. What are you all going to be focusing on once you get all this rolling toward the middle? Summertime next year. What are you all looking at?
Yeah, man, it's all scale and use cases at that point. So we want to see this. Yeah, we want to see the use cases are just going to be amazing applications of ZK out there in the consumer market, and then also on the ZK Verified, some really big B2B use cases. And by B2B, it sounds like, to me, it sounds a little boring, but actually this is where you get billions of transactions on chain quickly, is when you work with large institutions.
No, I was actually going to say I like that plan. So for those, essentially, he's building out lateral, right? They're saying we're not going to try to get any bigger or do anything different. We're going to actually try to get the businesses on. For example, if it's a new blockchain, we're going to try to get the right dApps working. So no, that makes sense. If the right business uses it, it works out. More volume, more users, and rinse, wash, repeat. I love it. All right. For the most part, that is the show for today. Rob, thank you for joining us. Last messages you have for those listening?
Guys, the war on crypto's over. I'll keep saying it. Actually, like this is a really big deal. Get excited.
And for your website, because I know we talked about the lettering change, but will it still be horizenlabs.io?
Yep, yeah, Horizen. The big thing, guys, to remember is it's a Horizen, like Zen, like the cryptocurrency, because that was the original baby of a community that we came from. The Zen
there
community.
It is, folks.
Yep.
And also I want to share this page too for those listening as well. If you just go to the horizenlabs.io, you'll also be able to go to the bottom of the screen where you can sign up for more updates. Is this a newsletter you all have? Is that what this is?
Yep.
Perfect. And you know what? For those listening, also, you can't have enough newsletters. I'm signed up. So people always wonder how I get so much information so quickly and just know what's going on. I'm signed up to like every newsletter. So I just get the digest versions. I read the headlines and kind of figure out 1 + 1 = 2 with the news. And it's a better way to kind of get like what's happening in the space altogether. So make sure you check that out as well. Again, that's Horizen, HORIZEN labs.io. And you can sign up at the bottom of the page. Again, Rob, thanks for joining us again. Can't wait to have you back on the show, hopefully sometime next year after everything's launched and up and running.
Would love it, King. Thank you so much. This was fun.
All right. Yes, sir. Cheers. And I will see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news. Cheers.